What is up, my beautiful people? Welcome back to my channel. It has been a minute since I've done one of these. If you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Kira Graves. I am a gender fluid queer person that exists to serve my children, to serve the gays, to give them what they need. And I feel like right now, the queers really need sex advice. I don't know, I'm just getting some like divine message from the universe. If you are my mom, once again, click away because this video is not for you. Don't want that happening again. I've already done a few videos like this and I will link them below if you want to go check them out. I always start these videos off saying I am not an expert. I am not a sexpert, for that matter. I am just coming from my own personal experience and giving you advice based on my own experience. But today, we have a very special guest and an actual sexpert. I'm so grateful that we're able to join me. Welcome to my channel, Eva. Thank you so much for being here. You are the sexpert that Queera needs and the queer community needs.
So I'm Eva. I use they and she pronouns. I am a non-binary lesbian and I do queer sex ed, and I'm also a sex science communicator.
What's a sex science communicator?
I have my master's. I have a master's of science. I did my master's thesis on sexting and women's experiences of sexting. Kira, there are like thousands of research papers on sex that just exist, this trove of knowledge that nobody fucking knows about. And I am, as one small gay, trying to do my bit of like, bring it to the people who need it.
You are doing the Lord's work. You really are. Okay, so this is a good intro question. If it's both partners' first time, WLW, what's a good way to break the ice / settle nerves? Well, one thing I want to just put on the table is don't expect it to go like it does in the movies, okay? There's an expectation there where it's like, it has to be so smooth and sexy and like there's gonna be no awkward moments. Just acknowledge that there are going to be awkward moments and it's okay to have awkward moments. And awkward moments are good and fun and you can laugh and you can talk.
Yes, that's so real. And also like not just with your first time, like literally with like all of sex,
Every time.
Yes. And also I feel like we have this idea of like a first time where it's like our scripts around sex is that like sex is penetration. We do certain things as foreplay and then we have penetration and like then it ends and that's like sex. But like for everybody, but especially for like women loving women, like you are allowed to like release that like definition of sex. Yeah. And like you really get to like lead with like your curiosity and excitement and like what's feeling good. So yeah, in terms of like breaking the ice, like just be like checking in. Like, do you want me to do more of that? Does that feel good?
Talk.
And
talk.
You can make out as long as you want.
Yes. I feel like sometimes the longer you make out, the more it breaks the ice sometimes. So like if you need to have more foreplay, do it. If you need to have more kissing, do it. You don't have to like do everything that you want to do in the first experience. You can just see how we're both feeling in the moment and like go off with that and communicate.
If it feels easier to maybe do it over text, or if you want to talk about it in person, like with your partner, like what does for your first time like mean to you? Like what are your expectations? How do you want to feel?
I like that. It's a really good idea to check in with expectations, but then also at the same time just like letting them go. You know, like if something doesn't happen the way you want it to, like it's okay. Like we're all figuring shit out as we go. Okay, someone asked, is it normal to not like penetration?
Yes.
Yes. You don't have to do penetration. Like there's this huge societal concept that you have to do that, and that is sex, and that is what like losing your virginity is, but like that is the most silly thing I've ever heard.
It's true. There is like so many different pleasurable acts and you 100% get to pick which ones you like and you want to do.
Plain and simple. You are normal. Someone said, I can't find my own clit. I'm worried about finding my girlfriends. We've never had sex. Questions about the anatomy, where the fuck is the clitoris? because obviously we do not learn this in school. Feel free to take a mirror and look at yourself down there. Like, don't be afraid of her. She's nice. She's not gonna bite. I feel like when I was trying to find my clit for the first time, I couldn't actually really see it because it's really hidden, but I could feel it. So like, I would just feel around, and then there's a specific spot that's way more sensitive than all the other spots. And that's kind of how I figured out where mine is.
I love that. I feel like I would also say use lube, because I know when I was exploring for the first time, I was like, because it's so sensitive, it can feel like painful sensitive, not like pleasurable sensitive. So
yes,
lube can make it feel more pleasurable.
If you want to learn the in-depth anatomy of the vulva and so many other things, a great resource I would check out is Beducated. This video is sponsored by Beducated, but also this is a resource that I have found that is extremely helpful. There are 80+ courses on Beducated by the world's top experts in the field. It's so educational, such a safe space, super inclusive, queer friendly. It's basically a place where you can level up your love life, learn how to be good as hell in bed. There's so much information on there, from kink play, to how to eat a pussy, to how to masturbate, to butt play, to erotic massages. I personally love the yoni massage course. It's such a beautiful course that goes into the anatomy of the vulva. First, you're gonna learn that. You learn how to deepen your intimacy with your same-sex partner. You learn how to deepen your self-love. You can actually give yourself the yoni massage as well. The course focuses on consent, communication, no judgment, and intention. I think the best thing that I've learned on Beducated is deepening my self-love with my body, because I've always been super insecure of how I look down there, how I taste, how I smell, blah, blah, blah. Through doing the yoni massage course in particular, I've found so much appreciation for my body and what it does. And that is something that is so priceless. You can actually try all Beducated courses one day for free. You can also get a 40% off yearly pass with my code Kira in all caps. Subscription starts at just $10 a month. I'm not very good at math, but that's the price of 3 coffees. Click the link in my description to get it now. Thank you so much, Beducated. I love you.
Those internal parts of the clitoris are also homologous to a lot of the structures of the penis too. So we're not so different after all.
Isn't it true that everyone is initially female in the womb?
Yeah, when the fetus is developing, your genitals, start as the same, and depending on what different hormones it's exposed to, you have this innate set of parts that just get arranged differently.
That's super cool. Do we really have to take off all our clothes during sex? If I don't feel confident enough to show my boobs, is it going to make the thing less exciting? Thank you, I love you. You don't have to be naked.
No.
No, where would you feel most confident in? If that's a binder, keep the binder on. If anyone is making you feel bad for keeping an article of clothing on that you want to keep on, then that's a red flag.
Yeah, a good partner will really want you to feel safe and comfortable and good in your body while you're getting intimate with them. I love that. We would make it more exciting. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's more exciting if you have something on, because it's ooh, what's underneath?
Absolutely.
How do I encourage my partner to explore more kink/role play with me? It's not that they don't want to, I just don't think they have much confidence, and every time we have sex, we end up just doing the same things. I've talked to them about it, but nothing changes.
When you have conversations with them, is it just I want to do more kink and BDSM? Or are you specifically I want to explore this sex act or this dynamic, and talking about how they feel about that? It sounds like maybe they just don't know a lot about kink and BDSM. Learn about it together, learn about it separately, and see what both sounds exciting and where the overlap might be.
I love that. There's also a lot of preconceived notions when someone hears the word kink. It might be scary. Mm-hmm. And they might be ooh, what do you mean? Are you gonna be slapping me? But in reality, there's so many different types of kinks.
With approaching it in general as a partner, you do want to start at taking those baby steps and seeing how people feel along the way. You're not gonna immediately go into being we want a 24/7 DS dynamic. It's no. It's gonna maybe start with, oh, you want to try bondage. what if like you put your hands on the bedpost and you hold them there yourself and see how that feels?
Yeah, so it's like, if you get scared, you can let go kind of thing, so you don't feel too trapped. I like that.
If it feels good to like, you want to start exploring with some of that stuff, make sure that you are like talking about it beforehand. So you're like, okay, this time we're gonna try X thing. And you're debriefing it after and be like, how did it feel?
Yes.
You want to be having safe words or like use like the red, yellow, green like stoplight system. Yeah, in terms of some like educational resources, I really like the podcast The Dildorks, which is like a queer kink podcast. In general, oh my gosh, I was gonna plug this. Girl Sex 101. For all of these questions, all the little gabies, this is your Bible. And it does talk about kink stuff in it.
I love that. That's so cute.
Yeah, from Come As You Are, Toronto store. We love.
I love that store. It's my favorite store. Next question. Hi, Queera. Well, it's gonna be my first time with a girl, and she told me she likes to be a bottom and submissive and all that. But I really am not used to taking control, not even with boys. And I'm so afraid of her not having a good time with me as it's my first time, and I don't think I can do all that for the first time. Any thoughts?
I think you can tell her that. I think you can say like, I think you're really hot. I'm very excited to like smooch and like do stuff, but I've never been more dominant or like toppy. So, the sex educator, we go back to being like, maybe share what you are interested in doing and like see if that might feel good for her. Like the first time you have sex with somebody is a lot of like figuring each other's just like anatomy out and like emotions and getting to know each other. I would say that like it's probably, in terms of making sure that everybody feels safe and comfy, good to start with like more vanilla sex to begin with unless you have like a lot of experience in negotiation.
Yeah, first get comfy for sure. Yeah, and just be so like transparent and honest. I feel like a lot of people are really scared to admit to people that like it's their first time. But personally, I think if someone were to be like, it's my first time, I don't know what to do, I'd be like, yes, I will show you. You know what I mean? So it's like, don't assume that they're gonna immediately be like, ew, like you're so inexperienced. You know what? I think it's hot.
Yeah, yes. People definitely think it's hot. It also might be like an invitation for her to be like, actually, I don't know everything either.
This is a you question because I genuinely have no idea, and I would love to know because I think a lot of people have I've heard a lot of different answers to this. So what is squirting exactly?
Question on everyone's minds. Okay, is squirting pee? No, but it does contain uric acid, which is also in pee. It also contains other things that are not in pee, like prostatic fluid. The way that the anatomy works, oftentimes when folks are squirting, you are stimulating like around the bladder, skenes glands around the bladder.
That's what I thought. But yeah, like there's so much hype around squirting and I don't understand.
I feel like it is like a very like sensationalized thing. Either
it is.
Like, I really want to do it, or like I feel maybe very like embarrassed that I do it. In terms of like sex ed, yeah, like it doesn't always happen with orgasm, can happen separately, can happen together. If you wanted to try and facilitate squirting, you could try more like G-spot stimulation, like if you do like this motion.
Mm-hmm.
It's all normal. Squirting, not squirting, it is not required.
No.
But it is also totally valid if that's something that you experience and you enjoy. And also sex is messy. My thing is like, is it pee, is it not pee? Got a lot of fluids going on. It feels, I don't know, maybe silly to me to be like, we have to determine what percent of this is it really pee.
I know. Because so many people are like, oh my God, like I hope it's not pee. But like, also, some people pee during sex and like that's normal. Like there are a lot of substances that might come out when you're having sex, and that's fine. It's totally fine.
It's also normal and valid if you do have like sensory sensitivities and you would prefer sex to not be super messy.
This is another question I get a lot, and I've tried to answer. How do I scissor someone? Baby gay here. So there's so much talk about scissoring, especially in like the lesbian community and the sapphic community. People have it in their heads that it really does look like two scissors. You can scissor, but it's not gonna look like two scissors. You know what I mean? It's not gonna look like Barbie dolls that are like, me, 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 me. It's a different positioning than that. And also there's a lot of maneuvering. It doesn't always feel good and it doesn't always work out, but if it does, that's awesome. Or you can do it as like foreplay. You don't necessarily have to feel like you need to orgasm while you're doing it, because in my personal experience, it's difficult. Like, you know, you really have to be in the right position, and your partner and you have to be flexible.
Yeah, core strength, leg strength, like.
Yeah, what is your advice on how to scissor?
I've been like seeing this question in the comments on TikToks, and I'm like, I'm gonna research and I'm gonna come back to you. So I feel like I also don't have the answer TM about scissoring.
The one way I guess I know how to do it is like one person lays down on their back and has like their legs open like this. And then the other person is kind of like kneeling on top of them, like crouched down. So like your pelvis is here and their pelvis is here. And you're just like kind of.
And you're using gravity to help you. The person is grinding down, and then the other person doesn't have to hold themselves up because they have like the bed supporting themselves up.
I think that's the only position I know.
That is also the only position that I know.
It's definitely one of those things that's like, ooh, scissoring. It's the same thing as like squirting. It's like people think that is all lesbians do for sex, like scissoring and then squirting. Like they scissor, then they squirt.
Whoa.
There does not have to be pressure to like be doing all that. You
No,
know?
it doesn't need to be that dramatic. Scissoring is also just like one example of like grinding or like frottage. And that can look so many different ways, like grinding with clothes on, like grinding on like a knee or a thigh, or maybe types of grinding that are like more physically accessible to more people, like easier to do. But yeah, it's all in the family of grinding.
I feel like if you want to scissor, like grind, but like you don't want to physically, you can't physically do that motion, then the leg option is it's great.
I also feel like there can be this like holdover from like cis hetero scripts that like we need to be experiencing the same amount of pleasure at the same time. That might be why like we think like, okay, scissoring then must be how lesbians, that's the act. But you can take turns. There's nothing wrong with taking turns.
Queers don't have to have that exact type of equivalent to heterosex where your genitals are interacting like that.
Yeah, I would love for us to remove any type of like pinnacle sex act that everybody should do and is the climax for everybody. Because humans are so diverse.
Yeah, exactly. That is all the questions we are going to answer today. Woo! We really hope that you enjoyed this video. Let us know what you think of it in the comments. Thank you, Eva, so much for coming on my channel today. I am so grateful that I had like a real sexpert on my channel.
So folks can find me at whatsmybodydoing on TikTok. I do a lot of gay sex ed, really a lot of the stuff we talked about in this video. I also have a queer community space that I run with my best friend Marlee, who's also an educator. That's especially for folks who are kind of questioning or who have come out over the pandemic and just want a space to connect with other queer people. You can find that in all of my link trees on the internet. It's called the Fuck Combat Support Club.
I love that. That's so important. Let's give everyone a hug so that they feel okay. We love you. See you in my next video. Mwah!